The Innovation Farms Ontario videos and podcasts are sponsored by FCC's Ag Expert. To learn more, visit agexpert.ca.
My name is Hassan. I got the opportunity to work as a researcher and technician this summer at Robotics. I'm currently going into my 5th year of computer engineering at the University of Guelph, and I'm specializing in artificial intelligence and robotics. The main reason I chose to apply to Haggerty is because I'm very passionate about implementing all the different abstract robotic principles that I've been learning in university in the agricultural field. And I think Haggerty Ag Robotics, being at the bleeding edge of this technology, is really the place to be for this industry. So moving on to what I did in the summer, my responsibilities were mostly focused on the TED, which is one of Naio's Vineyards straddling robots. On the left-hand side of the screen, you can see what a typical day in my life looked like. One of my main responsibilities with the TED was trajectory mapping. This involved collecting GPS data with an RTK beacon across the vineyard rows at Cave Springs Vineyard. The beacon will collect data at 100 millisecond intervals. This data was then imported into Naio's mapping software, where it was clustered, enabling me to create an actual path for the robot to follow. Once this path was made, we had to test if this path was accurate. So we would test to make sure that it is close enough to the vines, not damaging the vines, and also that it's adequately covering the vineyard. In addition to this, we also had to record paths to connect different parts of the field together into one cohesive map. So if you reference the picture at the bottom of the slideshow, the lines in green represent the paths that the TED would take while cultivating the rows, and the lines in blue represent the path that the TED would take to get from one area of the map to another without any damage. I also had the opportunity to collaborate with the Naio support team in France, as well as with Grant over at the Haggerty head office to troubleshoot various technical issues that we had along the way, including a motor replacement and also compass calibration. Throughout the summer, I also got the opportunity to work on some research and development projects. Specifically for the scouting or imaging project that Thomas was discussing, my task was to design camera covers for our cameras that we were using, with the objective to prevent dust from getting into any of the ports and also to dissipate some of the heat that the cameras would face being outside in the sun. I did this by designing a model in SolidWorks by applying various design techniques to ensure that the model fits seamlessly with the camera. In addition to this, we also had to 3D print this model. So I had the opportunity to perform a little bit of materials analysis on the 3D printing filaments we use, just to make sure we have the appropriate filament for our application. While 3D printing this model, I also had to configure various settings, including layer height, as well as infill amounts to achieve a balance between accuracy and strength. So if you reference the bottom of the screen, that's kind of a simulation of what the 3D printing process is layer by layer and how it would really be printed. But yeah. In addition to this, I also had the opportunity to work on some coding projects, specifically with the Python coding language. I was tasked to develop a Python script that essentially automated one of our image acquisition softwares, meaning it automated the startup, setting configuration, and camera start for all our different sensors. I was able to do this by leveraging various Windows automation APIs, including PyWinAuto and PyAuto GUI. These APIs really let me interact with our imaging software's graphical user interface and manipulate the elements to our needs. In addition to this, a large part of this project was also going back and revisiting my pre-existing code logic and optimizing it for a better execution speed and also a reduced time complexity. In addition to this, I also made sure to include various error handling techniques just to be able to monitor the software's performance and troubleshoot any issues effectively if they came along the way. But yeah, that's what I did this summer.